afternoon and welcome. My name is Susan Lovell. I'm Director of Military Enrollment, and I am serving adult learners at Columbus State University. And so tonight we just want to welcome you to our adult learner session. And we'd like to start out this evening with some wonderful presenters that will help you walk through the enrollment process, as well as giving you some great resources. And then we'd also like to share with you some of our students that are across the state of Georgia that have become experts as transitioning to adult learners and how they manage their time. And so tonight we would like to go ahead and introduce Dr. Rosalind Barnes-Fowler, who is the Director of Adult Learning Initiatives with the University System of Georgia. Welcome, Roz.
Good evening, everyone. As Susan mentioned, I'm Dr. Roz Barnes-Fowler, Director of Adult Learner Efforts at the University System of Georgia. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to our virtual open house event this evening. It is a pleasure to see so many of you here today. And we're glad you decided to join us as we look to provide you with information to help you return back to college to earn your degree. Today's format is very, very simple. We will present information related to the topics that we know will help you to return back to school. Then we're going to leave some time at each segment so that you may ask questions and get some of your questions answered. And then we're very, very excited to have a panel of current adult learners who will be here to talk with us a little bit about their journey returning back to school and what it's like to be back in school. So we're also thinking about how you balance going to school, doing work, having family, and while life is just still going on. So we have some subject matter experts here, and we're so excited to be able to present them to you tonight. So I hope you find today's webinar helpful. Enjoy. And now we will have our moderator for this evening will be Ms. Christy Orr from University of North Georgia. Christy.
Thanks, Roz. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today and learn a little bit more about the University System of Georgia. Like Roz said, we've got a wonderful lineup of speakers, and let's just jump right into it. So first off, we're going to kick us off is going to be Charlene Graham. She's the Assistant Director of Admissions at Georgia Highlands College. And she's going to talk a little bit about all the admissions application and different questions you may have. Now, during her presentation, please feel free to put some questions in the chat box, or we'll give you a few minutes at the end to unmute yourself and to ask questions as well. So, Charlene, are you with us?
I am.
All right, wonderful. The floor is yours.
Hi, guys. I hope everybody's having a good evening and trying to stay warm. Got a little chilly here myself, but so wanted to just talk to you just a bit about the application process and then give you a perspective from my experience as an adult learner. The application process can be a little daunting for somebody who's been out of school for quite some time, and even if you're tech savvy, it's the application process itself, because it for Georgia Highlands, it goes through the Georgia Futures website. So that to me is a little hurdle that you kind of have to jump through, creating your account in the first place on Georgia Futures. But once you get that account created, it will allow you to apply to the USG schools and most of the technical schools. And so regardless of whether you're applying to my school or not, we just want you to apply and, take that first step and see what tomorrow holds for you guys. So once you've got the application or the access to Georgia Futures and are trying to fill out the application, it's really important that you pay attention to the questions, because we get applicants who choose something like dual enrollment, which means that you're still in high school when you haven't been in high school in years, or they choose post-baccalaureate because they've been to another college and they have a post-baccalaureate, of course, means you've already earned your bachelor's degree. So just pay attention to those questions and answer them as best you can. And of course, if you've answered them or feel like you're unsure of it, you can always give a call or email any of the schools to ask questions afterwards and to maybe make some corrections to your application. But one of the big things that everybody needs to pay attention to is the questions regarding residency, because the answers to your residency questions will determine whether you are eligible for in-state or out-of-state tuition. And there are some questions that you may find a little confusing. So just pay attention to them, answer them, and at the end of the application, it will tell you whether you're classified as an in-state or out-of-state student. So before you submit that application, you do want to review that one key piece of information before you actually submit, and it'll allow you to go back and review those questions before you submit. For ladies who may be married, it's really important that you put your maiden name on the application as well, because it will ask you if you had any prior names. And it's the reason that's important is because your previous college transcripts or your high school transcripts, or maybe some old test scores that you may be sending in, may have a different last name, and we need to be able to link up that information for admissions purposes, so that all of your documents and downloadable information goes into the same student account. So once you've completed that and have submitted your application, then the next step is to reach out to your previous schools, whether it be your high school or your college technical school, and request your official transcripts to be sent to the college of your choice. A lot of students mistakenly think that submitting that application means that the school that you're applying to will reach out and get your academic transcripts from your previous schools and request them for you, but we're not allowed to do that. Your high school and college and technical school academic history is protected by FERPA, which is Federal Education Rights to Privacy. And so only you can access those records and request that they be sent to the school that you're trying to apply to. And so do reach out and get your transcripts sent in as soon as possible. If you have taken an SAT or ACT, you're welcome to send that, but USG schools, or the majority of the USG schools, are not requiring SAT or ACT scores right now. And so it's basically just proving that you've graduated from high school or submitting any post-secondary college or technical school transcripts to the college of your choice. So there, almost all of the schools have an online portal where you can check your admission status within a week or so after you've applied to the college. And so I would encourage you to keep an eye on that because for Georgia Highlands, you can see live updates once your documents are received. Your admission status will change, and you can actually see when you've been admitted to the college. Of course, there's always the need help button on our website and on other schools' websites as well. There's a way to reach out to the admissions office and ask where you're at in the admissions process, or ask any questions that you may have after you've submitted that application. So to me, because I was a non-traditional college student, I did not start college until I was 41. And then even after I did, it took me a long time to get through because I was raising children, I was married, I was working full time. So to me, the hardest part of this whole process is just stepping out of my comfort zone and taking that leap of faith to try something new. And once you do that, the next step is to stick with it because it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to get scared that you've bitten off too much to chew. But use just that old adage, take one thing at a time and get through that, and then do another, and just keep pushing yourself. One thing I could say is if you let your family and friends know that you're taking on something new, and that you really are wanting to succeed and better yourself, they'll kind of hold you accountable. They'll ask you, how you're doing, how your classes are going, and encourage you and be your biggest supporters. So again, you just stick with it. Another thing that it is really important is to get to know your teachers and your other students. To me, as a non-traditional learner, being in a classroom setting, it was key because that way in case you haven't figured that out, I'm a big talker, but I need to be able to ask questions and to be able to discuss, the materials with my classmates, and to kind of get that, that camaraderie going, that fellowship. And again, that's hard for some people if you step out of that comfort zone, but that's the only way that you're going to grow and make the most of this opportunity, in my opinion. Another thing is, if you don't understand something, ask your teachers, ask your classmates, ask faculty or other faculty or staff. If you don't get the answers you're looking for, ask again and again until you do understand it. And then be adaptable to just, where you're coming into a completely different, a different situation than you're used to, which is a good thing. It helps you grow and it helps you, get a bigger worldview than what you've had before. And then one thing that really helps is to take advantage of the tutorial center at your school. Our professional academic advisors are very dedicated and really want to help people succeed across the university system. And then, if necessary, if you need it, there's a counseling center on each campus that will help you with test anxiety or any issues that you may feel you need that support. And just to reach out, because all the people that work in the University System of Georgia are here because they really love what they're doing and they really, really, really want to help our students succeed. So that's my little spill of how to succeed as in the admission side and in the student side. So I hope that helps, and I'm really glad that you guys are here tonight.
Thank you so much, Charlene. That was some really great advice, and I love the tips that you were able to provide too from your experience. So thank you so much. I don't see any questions right now in the chat box, but if you'll hang out with us, maybe we'll have some more as the night goes on.
That sounds good. Thanks.
All right, thank you. So next on our agenda, we've got Dr. Melissa Young. Melissa is the Director of Advising at Columbus State University. And she's going to be talking about some resources that you might find helpful and some different tips all about advising. So Dr. Young, are you online with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, I sure can. All right, the floor is yours.
Great. We're so excited to have all of you joining us this evening and look forward to seeing you on all of our campuses, continuing to work toward your degree, returning back after a while, or maybe just getting started for the first time. I was asked to share a little bit about academic advising, and I was appreciative of Charlene sharing that it is important to begin to have a relationship with faculty and staff on campus. Your professional advisor, wherever they might be located, whether it's a faculty advisor or a professional advisor, is there as a resource for you as a student to connect you to many different resources and also to serve as sort of an advocate for you. You want to get to know your advisor. Even as adult learners, we might have questions or concerns that are not typical, and your advisor is the person that knows the answer to those questions. And if they don't know the answer, they know who to contact. So after you've been admitted, after you've gone through the application process, you'll have somebody that is assigned to work with you to talk about your transfer credit, to overcome any academic challenges you might have had, and again, connect you to those resources that are across campus. We can look over the stuff that you're bringing to the table. prior learning credit, transfer credit, anything like that that might be useful to you to complete your program, and things that might be moved around so that you have less time to earn your degree. There are some other things that advisors can connect you to that you may not be aware of. You know, when we were 18, first going out to college, we may have made some academic missteps. So we can work with you on academic renewal. If you've been out of school for 3 or more years, you may be eligible for that. And that is something you want to talk to your advisor about. It's not always in your best interest, depending on what kind of academic record you have, but it's certainly something you might be able to explore. Different campuses have a lot of different degrees to offer. So, you know, if you have a lot of credit in a lot of different areas, it might be useful to talk with an advisor about maybe a general studies program that can pull more of what you've completed into a degree program. Like at Columbus State, we have a Bachelor of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies that allows students to kind of cobble together things that they have completed, both from the professional world and any transfer credit, and kind of work toward 2 different pathways to design a program that works for them and is most effective in the use of their credit. Next slide, Susan. Thank you. In addition, we talked about how advisors can connect you to resources. And as Roz mentioned, as we were first getting started, we're all adults and we have different challenges. Some of us are working full time. Some of us have children. I was an adult learner. My husband was active duty Army. I completed my bachelor's degree and my master's degree while we lived in Hawaii, and I had nobody to help me. So it's important to be aware of what kind of resources might exist for you in the community. There is Quality Childcare of Atlanta that can connect you and provide referrals to childcare facilities. And there's also CAPS. Students became a priority group for CAPS in June of 2022. And that is Child and Parent Services with the state of Georgia. They might be able to provide assistance for you for childcare while you go to school. And of course, we know about the federal application for financial aid that you can complete and explore grant funding that might exist for you, scholarship funding that might exist. So any of those resources can certainly be helpful as you're thinking about returning to school. And as Charlene said, the main thing is just to get started and never stop. If it's only taking 2 or 3 classes at a time or taking 1 class at a time, whatever best fits your schedule, we want to move you forward toward the goals you have set for yourself. And any of our institutions can help you with that.
We will move on to our next speaker, which is Dr. Delana Shartner. She is an Assistant Vice President for Strategic Initiatives at Georgia Southern University. And she's going to talk a little bit with us today about some different support services available, and then just really how to connect on campus and how to make sure that you belong there at whatever institution you decide. So Dr. Shartner, I see you on camera and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And I want to welcome everyone. Hopefully this is beneficial for everyone. And so in my new role, I work a lot with adult learners. And one thing we hear from adult learners, I think Charlene said it early, is just a little bit of intrepidation about coming back to school, whether you're coming for the first time or whether you're returning. And maybe there's a little bit of fear in there about whether or not only can you do it, but whether or not you're going to feel like you belong on campus. And I want to tell you that you do belong on campus. Georgia Southern did a survey of our own adult students, but I think the data that I'll show you here a little bit is transferable to all of our campuses so that you can see that we do serve adult students, and there are plenty of adult students for you to interact with. So adult students typically are in that 30 to 34 range or 40 to 49 age range. So there's a lot of adults on our campuses that are your age. And I think you will find people who you can interact with. Most are employed either half-time or full-time. You can juggle work and school. It may not be easy, but you can do it. Many do transfer in credit, and they transfer in enough credit to be considered a sophomore. But if you're just starting out, we have plenty adult students who are freshmen. And it might take you a little bit longer if you're going part-time, but you also you belong on our campuses. Most are trying to change careers. If that's you, I'm sure that you've been in a career, you've been working, maybe supporting a family now, and you feel like there's something else out there for you. And so we often bring back a lot of students who want to go into what they hear as high demand careers because they would like to get a better job. And we're here for you in order to help you reach that goal. Many adult students, shockingly, are first generation college students. Their parents didn't go to college. And so they fall into a unique group that all of our campuses serve and to make sure that you know how to navigate college life. Many of our adult students prefer online classes, and you'll hear a little bit about eCore after my talk. But each of our campuses also offers online courses, hybrid courses, all kinds of different formats that you can use in order to balance school, work, and probably a family. And of course, many of our students use financial aid and they use the GI Bill. And so every campus has not only a financial aid office, but usually a military office that can help you navigate anything related to GI Bill and benefits. And so I'm sure that you see yourself in some of these statements. Next slide, please. The adults also can have a great experience on our campuses. Overall, adult learners express happiness and excitement about their education on any of our campuses. And adults actually connect probably even a little bit better with our faculty. Faculty identify with the adult learner, and adult learners identify with the faculty. And it's very important that you do find that faculty member that you can look up to as a mentor, and they will help you find internships. They'll help you find all kinds of programs in which you can succeed. Our adult learners are always very appreciative of the tutoring that's available, as well as the library. Those are very common places where they study, where there's group study, and ways to further their education. Adult students attend sporting events, they attend club events. You might think that you would feel maybe a little out of place at some sporting events, but believe me, that is not the case. Adults do love to interact and be part of the university community. It's perfectly fine. We really want our adults to be engaged on our campuses, be engaged in all of the activities that we have, say, in student affairs. And finally, everyone in the classroom benefits from the diversity that an adult student brings to the classroom. You learn from traditional students who are 18 and 19 years old, but they learn a lot from you. And I think that builds a community of scholars within all of our campuses. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about the support services that you could see on almost every campus. I made a list of what is typically on every campus so that you would know where to go back for help. Because one thing I've found is that if you're coming to school, especially for the first time, you don't speak higher education. We use a lot of terminology, a lot of jargon that might be foreign to you. And I wanted to make sure that there were some of these terminologies that you knew what they were and what they do to help you. And I will go through them very quickly. Admissions counselors, of course, that's the person you talk to in the admissions office who tells you everything that you need to help you complete your application. Lots of schools now have chats or chat bots. They do this by email, do this by phone, can do everything to guide you through that admissions process. The enrollment services unit, or sometimes it's an enrollment services unit where everything is there, sometimes a separate unit. But the person who is in charge of registration, of evaluating your transfer credit, evaluating prior learning assessment, and making sure all that gets onto your transcript is the registrar's office and enrollment services. Financial aid offices and scholarship offices, of course, they help you with money. One thing adult learners often need is testing services. We offer tests such as the AccuPlacer, other testing that you might need in order for placement into some of the courses. And so that's a testing service. Academic advisors, you just heard about academic advisors, but they're really focused for our adult learners on finding that pathway that can help you get out of college faster What courses can you, what courses do you need and how efficiently can you get through that pathway? Because time is money, and there's also time with your family that you need to make sure that you balance. And then IT services is everything LMS, everything that you might use for an online course or learning management system. That's your IT services. Military services, that's where you would go to find out about your GI Bill or maybe receive some credit for your military training. We do offer credit for military training at many of our campuses. There's usually an Office of Adult Learning or an Office of Online Learning that will guide you through online programs, how to do an online program, and maybe provide some programming for adult students. Counseling Center was mentioned. Counseling Center services are usually funded through your health center fees, or there's a small fee. And so you can get all kinds of health services while you're on campus. Many campuses have tutors, peer mentors, academic success coaches. There's lots of terminologies that are used on every campus. These are peers that will tutor. These are peers that will provide mentorship and kind of walk you through problems that you might be having with time management. Or there are actually academic success coaches that can help you if you've fallen behind, maybe needed academic renewal, maybe if you need a little bit of work with time management or any other kinds of issues that you might be having academically. Learning support is a program where you can rebuild skills in math and English that you might not have used in a long time. And so there's usually a unit for learning support. And then finally, continuing education is a unit that some people will start in continuing ed, maybe take some remedial courses in continuing ed or some professional certifications out of continuing ed, and then transfer into academic credit portions of a university. Next slide. And then, of course, the finalists, faculty are the number one guidance for you. They will do anything that they can for you. I think we have the best faculty in the USG. Anyway, career services, I would encourage everyone to visit career services early. So if even as an incoming student, if you're trying to change careers, this is the place that you can go to help you find out about your career. Many campuses have TRIO programs or other support service programs for low income and first generation students. The library, student affairs is where you go to get involved, right? Your clubs, your socials, academic clubs, those kinds of things. And then everybody's favorite or least favorite, I think, is a cashier's office, or sometimes you'll hear it called a bursar's office. These are the people that take your money. They're the ones where you pay the bill. And so you do need to know where to go to pay the bill. Last slide, please. And so I want you to know that you are not a burden if you call, email, chat with questions. That's what we're here for, to answer your questions. And there are no dumb questions. If you don't know what someone is saying, what they're talking about, what the jargon is, keep asking, right? You need to get the answer to that question. And so, of course, we want you to attend any of our campuses. We want you to come back. We want to provide that support for you. And we want you to see your goals and dreams. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shartner. That was amazing. A lot of information, and there's a lot of departments out there, as you can see. And I want to second what Dr. Shartner says. We are here for you. So definitely no dumb questions, and make sure you're reaching out to us, to one of the universities, whichever ones you're interested in, because we want to help you complete your goals. So next on our agenda, and if you're like me, I needed some online assistance. I needed some online classes when I went back as an adult learner to help me reach my goals. And Jessica Blakemore, she is our Director of Marketing and Enrollment at a program here at University System of Georgia that we call eCampus. You may be asking, what is eCampus? That's what Jessica's going to tell us. So Jessica, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Christy. I just want to tag on to the last speaker and say that there are no stupid questions. I was a first generation college student. And so when I first started college, I did not know the jargon at all. I remember filling out forms and I did not know what the differences were in the degrees, the levels of degree. I didn't even know how to put that on a form. So there truly are no stupid questions. Most of us that are in higher ed have some kind of calling or background like that. So please ask questions. So I'm here to talk about some of the online programs that are available throughout the system. eCampus is a unit within the University System of Georgia that provides support to all of our system of institutions for specific online courses and degrees. Two of the major programs that we support are eCore and eMajor. eCore is a set of 26 lower level courses that are fully online. They're developed at the system level and they are embedded in the course offerings at 21 institutions across the state. So all of the institutions you've heard from today, all of the members of the Adult Learning Consortium are all eCore network institutions. And so these are fully online courses. They're asynchronous. It's a really good option for, I know there's such great value in being on campus and being involved and being part of that community. But sometimes you need to just balance that out. Maybe you can't take all of your classes on campus. You want to take one so that you still get that experience, but you want to take an online class as well. You can mix and match that. And eCore classes are a great way to do that. We offer everything from eCore to lab sciences. So you can actually take, a biology lab science online with us. Cost, I know, is always an important factor, especially for adult learners. As we get older, we realize the value of money more than we did when we were younger. And so we're all, that is a factor for us. So we're always doing what we can to try to decrease the cost to the student for higher education. So all of the eCore classes include embedded textbooks at no cost, and they're at a low tuition rate. So they're a great option for you. And if you have questions about eCore classes, in order to enroll in those, you would apply through any of the USG institutions and just speak with your advisor about those classes, and they can help you enroll in online eCore classes. The other program that we support is eMajor, and these are going to be your full degree programs. So we offer associate's degrees and four-year bachelor's degrees through several institutions. And these are carefully selected to be those high demand career programs that you just heard a little bit about. So what we've done is kind of gone to the workforce in Georgia and said, what are the jobs that you need talent for? And so we've worked with institutions to help kind of boost the offering and availability of online programs in those specific areas. And we really focus on adult learners. So a hallmark of all of our eMajor programs are credit for prior learning opportunities. So we look at all of your transfer credit, military credit, any specific work experience you may have, and really try to maximize any credit you can to shorten the time to your degree. Another big thing that you can take advantage of through eMajor, a service that we offer, is a free unofficial transfer evaluation. And I know a few speakers have mentioned transfer credit and coming in, and a lot of times we see adult students may have been to a few different schools and changed majors, and so their credit is kind of all over the place. And your motivation for going back to school, it can vary. Maybe you just want the quickest route to a degree, whatever it is. Maybe your heart is set on a specific subject area. What we can do is we can take your unofficial transcripts and evaluate them against multiple programs before you submit an application. So it's completely free. You send them to us, and it's a great tool to have to look at and say, if I choose this business degree, I can finish in a year. But if I go and do something different, which is what my heart really desires, it's going to take me a little bit longer because not all of my credit transfers. So it's a really good tool to use to help you make some of those decisions on what school to go to, what program to pursue, and just what you might be looking at up front. Next slide. And then we also support a program called FreeCore. So we've also seen in research that adult learners really want the opportunity to kind of sample classes before they take them, particularly with online. So FreeCore classes are kind of an opportunity for you to do that. So they're entirely free online courses. They are non-credit courses, but they're great to use to maybe boost a skill. We have a introduction math class. So, you know, if it's been 15 years since you've taken a math class and you are really worried about taking math in college, this is a great chance to enroll in this free class and kind of brush up on some of those skills that are way back in your mind and you just need to bring to the forefront. And it's an opportunity for you to test out the learning management system and kind of get your bearings, get yourself back into, you know, the mindset of being in school. So it's just a great opportunity. There are also some classes that are designed specifically to prepare you to take CLEP exams. And CLEP exams are exams that you can take in order to basically, essentially exempt out of courses. So it's another option for you to shorten the time it takes for you to complete your degree. And I've listed there on the screen the areas that we offer those free core classes in. Yeah, thanks. And if you want more information about those, the URL is on the screen as well. And you could just register right there on the website for the classes. And now you can go to the next one. And then the last resource I wanted to mention is our Georgia On My Line directory. So the eCore and the eMajor programs that I spoke about, those are the online programs supported by eCampus, but there are a vast, you know, selection of online programs offered outside of eCampus throughout the system. So Georgia On My Line is a website that is basically a directory of all of these online programs. It's a shopping experience, shopping type platform. So if you've ever shopped online, you should be able to navigate it fairly easy. That's the hope, at least. You can filter it by institution, by subject area, by degree level, however you want to find a degree. And you can read some highlights about those programs, including tuition, credit hours, how long it takes. And then you can request additional information specifically from that school, from that page. All of those requests come to our team at eCampus and we help fill those out. So, and get you in contact with the right person for that program that you're interested in. So it's another great resource if you're looking specifically for online programs. So I encourage you to check it out. And I think those are all of my slides. If anybody has any questions, or if not, I will pass it back.
So I'm going to move right on to our final piece of tonight. Hopefully, our speakers have alleviated your fears, your concerns, and that have answered all your questions. But just in case you still have some concerns, a little nervousness about returning, I think our student panel is going to be able to wrap all that up for you and help alleviate those fears. So what I'm going to start out doing is introduce them one by one, let them introduce themselves, give a quick introduction, and then we will open it up with some questions that I have for our panel. So I'll go first in alphabetical order. Zach Bowen from Dalton State College. All right, go ahead,
everyone.
Zach, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zach Bowen. I go to Dalton State College, like she said. It's an honor to be here. I'm working on a bachelor's degree in organizational leadership. I have a family. I have 3 children. They are 10, 5, and 3 months old. I also work a full-time job. I also have a little landscaping business that I do. So I stay pretty busy. So it is, you can do this if you put your mind to it.
All right, awesome, Zach. Thank you. All right, next we have Amanda Douglas from East Georgia State College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Douglas, and I do attend East Georgia State College. I also work at East Georgia State College. I'm the Senior Administrative Assistant for the School of Liberal Arts, Mathematics, and Natural Sciences, so really academics. I started this degree for an associate's. I originally started school in 1993. So I quickly had it end because I started a family, and I continued in 2017. So 25 years later, I continued that associate's degree. From 2017 up until I hope to graduate in December. It's been a long journey, but it's coming to an end, and I hope to continue it to a bachelor's degree as well.
That's awesome, Amanda. I love your determination there. May take some time, but you keep fighting to get that degree. So congratulations on your graduation or your upcoming graduation.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us today. And then last on our student panel is Sharday Lee. Sharday's joining us from Atlanta Metropolitan State College. Welcome, Sharday.
Greetings. My name is Sharday Lee, and like she said, I attend Atlanta Metropolitan State College, home of the Mighty Mighty Trailblazers. I am 36 years old. I am a mother of two boys, 9 years old and 3 years old. I've been married for 14 years. I am a full-time employee. I'm a work-study student, and I also serve as student government president at my institution. So I'm extremely busy, but it is very doable. And everything that was talked about from the admissions portion, advising, everything, eCore, you can do it because the resources are there. And I'm a strong advocate for every resource that's on the campus is provided to us through the University System of Georgia. So you can do it.
Thank you, Sharday. I appreciate that. We are glad to have all three of you. And so we will start out with our first question for the panelists today. The first question is, did anything surprise you as you went through the enrollment process and started classes? And so Sharday, we'll start with you for that answer, if you have anything you'd like to share.
Did anything surprise me? I think it all was a surprise. Everything from the first time that I attended college, when I graduated high school many years ago, everything is so electronic. You have to create an account with everything. And so it can be very intimidating when you start. Because again, the lingo is very different. There's that college lingo you're not really too familiar with, but I encourage you to ask questions. The first presenter said it, ask. If you don't get the answer that you're looking for, ask again. If they don't give you the answer, ask again. Ask, 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 ask. You will get an answer.
I like that. All right. Thank you, Sharday. All right, Amanda, any surprises that you had through the enrollment process, or maybe some tips you have about admissions process?
My tip would be the more prepared that you are, the better the flow would be, and that's having your high school transcript, having any college transcript or any technical college transcript, having that already sent to the college of your choice by doing your investigation of what college and determining where you want to go and knowing what they require for their admission process, but to help things flow properly. Also, the surprising, as Sharday said, everything is surprising because we went from a paper world to an electronic world. But probably what was more surprising to me was how accepting everyone was, even though you're an adult, an older adult, how accepting the professors were, the faculty, the staff, how accommodating, and how the younger students look up to you as an adult learner and willing to pair up with you as well.
All right. Thank you, Amanda. All right, Zach, anything to add?
So like they all said, I was very surprised myself. I started 2.5 years ago. I'm 31 now. And so I really didn't know what to expect. It was very streamlined. I was very surprised that every I was dotted and every T was crossed. And everyone was just so willing to help. You didn't really have to hunt for answers. The answers were there. And so that it made the process a whole lot easier than what I thought it was going to be.
That's good to hear. Especially as you can see, especially as Charlene said, a lot of us that we're here working and helping our adult learners, we're adult learners ourselves. We've had to return later to college, whether it was to finish a degree or to get a next level degree, whatever it is. So we've been in your shoes. And I'm glad, Zach, that you found that, found individuals willing to help and eager to help as well. So for our next panelist question, I'm going to start with you, Amanda, on this one. What do your family and friends think about you working on your degree? And has their support or involvement in your degree program helped you in any way?
Yes, my family's very supportive. As I said, I started working back on my associates 25 years later from being graduated high school. However, this this fall semester, I get to graduate with my daughter. 28 years later. So everybody's, and the faculty has also been very encouraging. Whenever I thought, oh, I'm not going to make it, they encourage me, or I'm like, I've checked out, that, they kind of try to guide me back in to get in the groove. Or if I've registered for too many classes, my supervisor always kindly gives me advice of, I think you've taken on too much. So I've had work support and I've had family and friends support.
That's amazing. And what does your daughter think about graduating with you?
She probably doesn't think as much as I do about it. And it just happened that way. It wasn't planned, it happened.
I'm sure when she looks back on it, though, it'll be a very cool moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely. And Zach, if I took my notes down correctly, I think you said you had 3 kids.
I do have 3 kids.
Okay. So how has having a family of 3, how has that worked while you've been trying to complete a degree?
So honestly, it's been challenging. My 5-year-old, she's always wanting to play. So she'll be like, Daddy, why do you have so much homework to do? Can we, stop and do this for a little while? So it is okay to take a break and see that their needs are met. Like they spoke earlier about using E-Major, and that is something that I highly recommend to use. That has really allowed me to juggle everything and spend more time with my family.
That is awesome. Definitely, you've got to find that happy medium for sure, between making sure you get your schoolwork done and spending time with your family as well. And it sounds like you're doing an amazing job on that.
Thank you.
So Sharday, if I wrote down correctly, I've got that you were married for 14 years. Is that correct? With 2 kids? So how has family and friends, or what did they think about you working on a degree? And how have they been supportive in your journey?
I will say my family has been very supportive, and I've also had the support of my institution. They back me 1,000%. I'm a transplant, so I'm originally from Arkansas, so I don't have a lot of family here, blood family, but they support me from afar. And then the family that I've created here, they're very supportive. Right now, I'm sitting in the middle of a high school gym. My 9-year-old has made the football all-star team, so he's at practice right now. And my 3-year-old is at my friend's house while I'm doing this panel. So the support is needed and it's there. So I'm very grateful for my family and friends that I've created inside of the institution and outside of the institution.
That's awesome. And too, with your involvement with SGA and everything, you've got a lot going on your plate, but it looks like you're making it work as well. So good job. All right. So for our final question, and if we don't have any questions from the audience, maybe we can throw in an extra one, but we'll make this our final one for right now, and we'll see how we're doing on time. But as you have continued your journey, and kind of looked back on, where you started from, what is one thing that you wish that you know now that you wish you had known back then? And Zach, I'll start with you on that one. Or it can be so like any tip that you can share as you were looking to attend college?
So something that I wish that I had known back then that I do now is time is time. Time is going to go by whether you're doing something or whether you're not. And so putting an effort into that time of continuing my education has really helped me to grow, not only in my educational journey, but is in my adult journey, and also the journey with my career that I'm in now.
Okay, thank you. All right, Amanda?
I would probably say that anything is possible. And just because you delay it today doesn't mean you can achieve it tomorrow. And the one thing that I probably find that's been helpful with me is knowing all the resources that is available to a student at the individual college, taking advantage of all the tutoring options in your ACE Center, tutor.com, even getting that one-on-one relationship with your faculty or your professor to know their office hours and that they're willing to help you. But just knowing all the resources that's available to me and other students at the institution.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Amanda. All right, Sharday.
One thing I know now is that, and I think everybody kind of touched on it, is your professors. They want to see you win. Communicate with them. They want to see you win. Most of the times, if it's anything going on, they probably already heard it 20 times over. So nothing can surprise them. And they want to see you win. Talk to your professors. They are in your corner. They have your back. They will do everything that they can. They will point you in the proper directions. Talk to your professors, communicate, communicate, communicate. Had I known that early on, I wouldn't have went into my college journey the third or fourth time around as nervous as I was. Talk to your professors, and I want to say, get involved. Get involved. It is the best thing you can do as an adult learner. The more support, the better. You can do it.
I agree, Sharday. Definitely get involved. I know with adults, we're a little hesitant. We've got a whole lot more going on. But taking that step, getting involved, I have definitely seen adult learners making those connections across campus that they never thought they would need or how they could be helpful. But then we're completely surprised. So I definitely echo that one. So I don't see any questions just yet in the chat box. I'd like to give anyone in the panel that, or in the audience, excuse me, that would like to unmute yourself to ask a question. And if not, I've always got one more question on the sidelines, just ready to go. Okay, so we did have one. What was the hardest thing that you overcome? Maybe whether it was to take that step to apply to a college and return to school, or whether it was something that you had to overcome once you were in school.
I think for me, the hardest thing to overcome was time management and organization. Just saying, hey, you know, this degree is what I want, setting end goals, saying that this degree is what I want and or what I need for my family to prosper, and just making that time management organization and taking care of your family all in one. So overcoming those obstacles to meet the end result.
All right, thank you, Amanda. All right, Sharday.
I would say for me, I'm going to piggyback off of something that Amanda said earlier about understanding who you are as an adult learner and the younger people looking up to you, I had to overcome the fear of dimming my light, because I would usually dim my light because I didn't want to outshine or overstep boundaries. But what I learned and what I'm learning is that my light is very important, especially with the life experience that comes with being an adult learner. There are 17 and 18-year-old students that need to hear what I have to say, that need to understand why they need to do the things they need to do now so they won't be 36 trying to go to school and not to waste their time. So I would say as an adult learner, everything that you learned in life, take it with you and don't be afraid to share it. That's very important. And I had to overcome that and not just thinking I'm the old lady on campus. And so so don't dim your light, and be the light that you want to see. So I encourage every adult learner to take that with them.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. You're as adult learners, you're definitely bringing qualities and different assets to our campus that we definitely can utilize, and it definitely is a huge help in our classrooms to help those younger, more traditional age students understand. This is life. Life is hard. Learn from us. All right, so Zach, we are going to end with you. What's one thing that you've had to maybe overcome, or that you've learned through this process?
So like Amanda said, time management and organization is key. And something that I had to overcome was just to take that step, take that step out of your comfort zone and want to do something not only just for yourself, maybe, but for your family. I want to have a better life for my kids. I want them to be able to see that you can succeed as long as you put your mind to it. And there's nothing that anyone can't do as long as they put their mind to it. So this has just been such a great opportunity, to be a part of. And it has really honestly helped my communication skills going to college, because with the job that I was in, I didn't really have, that professional background. And so now it's helped my emailing skills, my communication skills with the higher managers that I work with and things like that. And so it has really helped me to grow.
I like that. We are never too old to learn. Definitely lifelong learning. So I appreciate that, Zach. And I want to thank Amanda, Zach, and Sharday. Thank you so much for joining us, being part of this student panel, being open and vulnerable, and sharing your stories with us. We greatly appreciate it. So thank y'all. All right. So I think that wraps us up for tonight. I think I'm going to turn it back over to Roz real quick. She's going to wrap us up, but thank you again for joining us. It's been a pleasure being y'all's moderator tonight, and we look forward to having you at one of our campuses.